The Pokémon anime is loosely, maybe a little bit more than loosely, based off the Pokémon games. They got the same monster designs, the same goals and themes, and the same general locations. But sometimes it's fun when the Pokémon anime spreads its wings and flies away from the source material. Turns out we've got time to kill between Important Game Town 4 and Important Game Town 5. So it's time to introduce all new, slick, wacky towns, cities, and locations to buy some time. Trust me, some of them are a little fun. This is Gringy City, located somewhere between Celadon and Fuchsia City, and it's a looker. Imagine if a city was like really dark and had been like super taken over by factories and dastardly pollution and stuff. Halfway through the episode, the power even goes out. Even Nurse Joy is corrupted in this city. In the episode, she dismissively waves off Pikachu's sickness, says it's just a cold, and tells Ash and the gang to get lost. She comes around in the end though. Gringy City is filled with industrial Pokemon like Magnemite, Magneton, and Grimer, and our soon-to-be best boy Muck, who Ash does catch at the end of the episode, dungeon crawling in Gringy City. This one Magnemite really wants to make love to Pikachu here too, so that's pretty cool. Eventually Ash has to infiltrate the power plant and free it from pesky Grimer and our boy Muck in order to get the power back on and save all the dying Pokemon in the Pokemon Center. Cool wacky places lead to cool wacky plots, who knew? And ends up in an episode with a unique look and tone. Pretty cool. What a locale. Don't catch me, catch you in Gringy City. I'll tell you what. What about Dark City? An abandoned town where two rival gym gangs battle relentlessly in the street, destroying the structures and making the old western-looking town uninhabitable. Now, what makes them gym gangs as opposed to just normal gangs? I don't know. The episode says they run their own gyms. It might be like a dub substitute for like dojo or something, I don't know. But don't worry, Ash and the gang interfere and settle things between the gangs, and ultimately, the gangs decide to come together and rebuild Dark City, making it habitable once again. What a location. Let me take you on a trip down to Evolution Mountain. You can visit the battling Eevee brothers, who live in a mansion underneath the mountain in, guess what? Stone Town. I think there's a theme to this one. We might be learning about evolutionary stones this episode. It's got like a cool fountain and stuff. The moral of this one is you don't always have to evolve your Eevee or something. Ever heard of the great Hop 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 Town? Didn't think so. There's a lot of rich whites in this neighborhood. They're bored and they like trying designer drugs like being hypnotized by a drowsy. Little did they know the hypnotism was reverberating throughout the city and making kids act real weird. Don't worry though, Ash gets to the bottom of it. But in the end, all this plot is paltry compared to the progeny of Hop 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 Town and how it forever affects the series moving forward. Because from Hop 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 Town comes a little fella called Psyduck, and Misty's team was never the same again. You know, this is only like the introduction to the greatest character in this entire show. No biggie. Pokemon Tech is a school you can go to and graduate from to avoid having to journey around and collect badges in order to enter the Pokemon League. A classic idea. Each segmented class even correlates to badge progress. They got battle sims and training Pokemon in battlefields. Seems pretty cool. Jesse and James used to apparently attend. Crazy. Anyone down to, meet up on Scissor Street? It's where Pokemon get their hair cut, sicko. It ain't what you think.
Wait a minute, I just remembered that Scissor Street is also called Breeder's Lane.
So that's why we're here. Brock's always gotta see the latest breeder gear.
Hot. Speaking of hot, this is where Brock gets his Vulpix during the Breeder's Lane episode. God, I'm good at writing, what a transition. Maiden's Peak is kinda scary, not gonna lie. It's got a haunting backstory from olden wartime times. There's an epic statue made of stone, and most importantly, there's a talking mischievous little Ghastly that does some wacky things every time the summer festival comes round. He's got some neat tricks up his sleeve, like Pokemon Fusion, or turning into a mongoose, or turning into a fire extinguisher. It's some seriously scary stuff. I'd avoid Maiden's Peak if I were you. Don't get off the boat. The Pokemon League of the show was always way cooler than the shitty Elite Four version from the games. Come on, don't you reckon? So much so that it's basically a new location. Rather than lame rooms and no spectacle, and a singular champion fight at the end, what about an Olympic-themed tournament arc? With different stages, from round robin to single elimination, with different themed battlefields, with stadiums of people watching, and a cool little trainer village. It's not even a contest. It's literally the coolest location, the greatest event in all of nostalgia. What about the old Orange Islands? Perhaps the most famous anime-only locations in the show's history. We can't forget about these. Pinkan Island's got pinkan berries. And you want to take a guess what happens when the native Pokemon of Pinkan Island eat said pinkan berries? Well, they become pinkan Pokemon, of course. You can't make this shit up. Look, there's a pink Rhyhorn. So while sailing the seas of the Orange Islands, you spotted scores and scores of Magikarp congregating and heading in a singular direction, did ya? Well, if you follow the school, you'll arrive at the sacred Rind Island, where all the Magikarp from all over the globe head when it's time to evolve into Gyarados. All they gotta do is make it all the way upstream. One Piece wants to be Orange Island's Pokemon so bad, huh? You might also run into Mr. Quackenpoker here. He's a strange fellow. He likes Magikarp. Perhaps a little too much. He speaks funny too. I dare you to come square up at this unnamed island located somewhere between Pinkan Island and Kino Island. You won't, pussy. Well, actually, Buster, too bad, we can't. The entire island no longer exists, for the ancient prophecy came true.
When the scavengers arrive, the moon will glow an angry red. The land itself will vanish and be swallowed by the sea!
Turns out this prophecy is 100% entirely true. Turns out the whole island is actually made up of fossilized Kabuto, and when Team Rocket exposes some of them to the red moonlight that comes with the prophecy, they all revive, and the entire island crumbles piece by piece until it's swallowed into the sea. The excavation crew and our heroes are powerless and barely make it out of the island in time on rafts, and they all watch as the Kabuto hauntingly drift off into the mass endlessness of the scary blue sea, searching for another resting place. Wait a minute! An island that completely disappears and is wiped off the map? That hosts ancient secrets? Oh, it is a hack! Now obviously the coolest of all locales in all of the Orange Islands are the Pokemon the Movie 2000 islands. Fire Island, Ice Island, Lightning Island, home to Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos, respectively, each with their own little cool elemental translucent ball thingy. It's sick. Shamuti Island is pretty rad too. The Crescent Island deal is only like the coolest geographical phenomena ever, and it houses a cool clan of people and the coolest girl 6-year-old me had ever laid his eyes upon. Let's not forget about that cool shrine and the talking Slowking either. Also Lugia lives there, so that's pretty cool. But these can't count, it's movie stuff, it's not fair. Notice how we ain't talking about New Island here. That place sucks. Then, of course, let's not forget about the wackiest fictional location in all of the Pokemon anime, Hollywood, California. Meowth doesn't want to talk about it, though. He's a little sensitive to his past in the West. Meow, he's a no-good harlot.